The haunted mountain schools of Japan, the forgotten classrooms that refuse to stay silent. High in the mountains of Japan, hidden behind dense forests, mist-covered valleys, and winding roads, stand hundreds of abandoned schools. Many were once the heart of remote villages. Children ran through their hallways every morning. Teachers rang bells to begin class. Festivals filled the grounds with laughter. For decades, these schools served isolated communities scattered across Japan's rugged mountains. Today, many of those villages are nearly empty. Japan's population decline and migration toward major cities forced countless mountain communities to close their schools forever. The buildings remain. And according to locals, some of them are not completely abandoned. The vanishing villages. After World War II, Japan experienced rapid economic growth. Young people left rural mountain regions to find work in cities such as Tokyo, Osaka, and Nagoya. As years passed, fewer children remained in remote villages. Some schools that once educated hundreds of students found themselves teaching only a handful. By the 1980s and 1990s, closures became common. Entire villages slowly disappeared. Wooden classrooms sat empty. Desks remained untouched. Blackboards still displayed lessons written decades ago. Nature began reclaiming everything. Trees grew through playground fences. Vines climbed classroom walls. Snow covered forgotten schoolyards each winter. Many buildings became frozen in time. The first strange reports. Local residents began sharing unusual stories. Caretakers assigned to inspect abandoned schools reported hearing sounds that should not have existed. Footsteps echoed through empty hallways. Doors opened and closed on their own. Chairs appeared moved from their original positions. Several visitors claimed they heard children's voices despite knowing nobody else was inside. The reports were often similar. A distant laugh. A running sound. The creak of wooden floors. Then silence. Many dismissed these stories as imagination. Old buildings naturally make strange noises. Mountain winds can create sounds that resemble whispers. Yet the stories continued. The bell that rang without students. One of the most common legends involves school bells. In many abandoned mountain schools, large bells remain mounted outside the buildings. Former residents have reported hearing bells ring during foggy evenings. The strange part is that many of these bells no longer function. Some have rusted mechanisms. Others are disconnected entirely. Yet witnesses claim they occasionally hear a single clear ring drifting across the valleys. Older villagers often say the sound resembles the signal once used to call children to class. A class that ended decades ago. The winter caretaker. One frequently repeated story concerns a caretaker assigned to inspect a closed school in a snowy mountain region. According to local accounts, he arrived before sunset to check the building after a severe winter storm. The school had been empty for years. As darkness approached, he entered the main hallway. Everything appeared normal. Then he heard footsteps. Not one set. Several. The sounds moved rapidly along the second floor. Thinking trespassers had entered, he climbed the stairs. The hallway was empty. Every classroom door remained locked. As he turned to leave, he reportedly heard what sounded like children laughing behind him. When he looked back, the corridor was silent. The caretaker completed his inspection and left immediately. According to the story, he refused to return alone. The classroom light. Another legend tells of lights appearing in schools that no longer have electricity. Mountain hikers occasionally report seeing illuminated windows deep in the forest after sunset. Believing someone is inside, they approach. But when they reach the building, everything is dark. No power. No occupants. No explanation. Some investigators suggest moonlight and atmospheric conditions can create unusual visual effects. Others believe the lights are linked to memories lingering within the abandoned structures. The village that lost its children. Perhaps the saddest stories come from villages that disappeared entirely. Some communities once depended on forestry, farming, or mining. When industries declined, families moved away. Schools closed. Homes emptied. Entire neighborhoods vanished. Former residents occasionally returned to visit their childhood villages. Many describe overwhelming emotions when entering old classrooms. Photographs still hang on walls. Student artwork remains preserved beneath layers of dust. Graduation messages survive on blackboards. These scenes often create a powerful sense that time has stopped. Some visitors say they feel watched. Others report hearing sounds that remind them of children playing nearby. Whether supernatural or psychological, the experience can be deeply unsettling. Why these stories persist? Japan has a long tradition of ghost stories connected to places filled with memory. Abandoned schools represent more than empty buildings. They symbolize vanished communities. Lost childhoods. Families that moved away. Generations that will never return. Many folklore researchers believe this emotional connection helps explain why haunted school legends are so common. When people walk through silent classrooms that once held life and energy, the mind naturally fills the emptiness. Every creak sounds like a footstep. Every gust of wind becomes a whisper. Every shadow seems to move. Yet not every witness accepts that explanation. Many remain convinced that something else exists within these forgotten schools. Modern explorers. Urban explorers continue visiting abandoned schools throughout Japan. Photographs reveal remarkably preserved interiors. Rows of desks remain untouched. Maps still hang on walls. Books sit open where students left them years ago. The atmosphere is often described as eerily peaceful. But explorers occasionally report strange experiences. Unexpected voices on recordings. Unexplained figures appearing in photographs. Footsteps with no visible source. Most incidents cannot be verified. Still, they continue adding to the legends. The silence that remains. Today, hundreds of abandoned mountain schools remain scattered across Japan. Many are slowly collapsing under the weight of time. Others have been converted into museums or community centers. Some have already disappeared entirely. Yet their stories survive. On foggy evenings, locals still speak about distant bells ringing through mountain valleys. Travelers still share accounts of hearing children where no children live. And deep within Japan's forgotten villages, empty classrooms continue waiting in silence. Whether the sounds belong to ghosts, memories, or imagination, one fact remains certain. The schools may be abandoned. But they have never truly been forgotten. And according to local legend, some of them may never be empty at all.